Enid Plainsmen Football 2015.
Hey, we're all putting gas on today.
Plainsmen Football, getting it done. Plainsmen Football, where preparation is repetition.
Ready to go.
Enid Plainsmen Football, we don't get tired. Plainsmen Football, effort, technique, and how we treat one another.
Those are the things we're going to be great at. If people look at videos, they're going to see those three things.
Now, from the Enid Television Network studios, here's head coach Steve Hayes with Steve Kahn.
Wrap up, good tackle.
Welcome to Plainsmen Football 2015. Well, the Plainsmen are coming off a tough loss at Bartlesville last Friday night, a 42-20 loss, and there was a lot of ingredients for that particular ball game, and mainly the weather ingredient. Coach Hayes, welcome to Plainsmen Football. We appreciate you being here. I realize that you and the players and the other coaches got home at 2:40 Saturday morning.
It's a short weekend. Yeah,
Oh,
not
my.
a lot of
Bless
sleep
your-
this weekend.
Bless your heart. Well, give us a, excuse me, before we talk about the weather and the weather delays and maybe the impact that had on the game,
Yeah.
just give us your overall assessment of the performance or just the game.
Yeah, I think offensively we improved a great deal. We talked about last week that 44% of our plays were in one of the four negatives we try to avoid, and we actually got that down to 20. So we're 8% away from our goal, which is a huge improvement. I thought in the second half we played really well, well enough to win, which is great because I think it's the first time this year we've done that consistently. And so I feel really good about us offensively going into district play, the personnel that we have, and how the kids are getting it. I think defensively we missed too many tackles. We had several times where we had them in a position to stop a series, 3rd and 18, and had them pinned behind the line of scrimmage and potentially let them go, and actually to the point where they get a first down. I think that we need to clean that up. We still had two bad snaps in the first half. The snaps were good, but they were mishandled. We need to fix that because that killed 2 drives as well. But we only had 1 turnover, which was good, and definitely need to fix our punt team. You know, we had 2 punts blocked. Was not a byproduct of the weather. It was a byproduct of effort, and we need to get that fixed as well. And so those are the main areas we'll be focusing on this week.
I know your coaches keeping track of the stats and everything, and one statistic that I've noticed of the last 3 games, it seemed like the opponent scored on the very first 2 or 3 possessions of the game.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, wow, we got behind so quick, now we're in catch-up mode the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And again, it happened last Friday night with the Bruins.
It did, you're right.
They scored the very first 2 possessions, and it was just so quick, and it was like, we got to catch up now. So
Yeah, we do.
that really changes everything, I guess, for the players and coaches and the mindset, or do you
Mentally
stay
hard.
focused on the game plan at hand?
Well, I think the kids stayed focused, and our defense, as the game went on, actually started playing much better. The same thing I said a minute ago. In that first drive, there was a couple 3rd and 9s that we allowed them to get first downs
Sure.
on, that we should have got them off the field,
Yeah.
in my opinion. And then offensively, we haven't scored in our first 2 or 3 drives yet this year either, and that definitely, I think, would help our defense's momentum as well, as if we would take the ball down and get a touchdown right off the bat and let them play with a lead. I'm sure they'd like to see what that feels like as well. And so
Sure.
it's a team effort. We all need to do better. And you know, I thought defensively 2 weeks ago our kids really stepped up, improved, and played really well. I thought they did a good job of getting in position to make plays Friday night. There was a lot of times we had people there, but then just didn't make the play. And part of that's the athleticism of the kid that was playing quarterback at Bartlesville. The Penrod is a very good dual threat athlete who will probably be playing on Saturdays the next couple of years. And he had something to do with that, but I still think we could have done better in that regard.
It's at halftime and you haven't scored yet. What are you telling offense, but what are you telling the entire team
Halftime,
to go into the second half?
At halftime, we really took more of a cerebral approach to it. I know offensively, we sat down and looked at our first half and the plays that we ran, and we went through and we corrected everything. And really, the weather delay at halftime probably helped us. Much more than it hurt us. I think, you know, Bartlesville was probably pretty relaxed and loose, given the fact that they were ahead by 3 scores at that point. Our kids were very focused and attentive at halftime, and I think the byproduct of that is offensively we played really well in the second half, and all the mistakes that we talked about at halftime that we needed to correct, we actually corrected, and we executed very well. If we can continue that into the Choctaw game, I feel really good about our chances this week.
Your comments leading us into the weather delay question that I have for us. Here we have a weather delay to start the game. I believe it was 7 o'clock kickoff, and it happened around 8:10 or 8:15, so you have an hour plus there.
Yes.
And then, and again, I think everybody was mindful that there was going to be storms Friday evening as this front is coming across the state.
Yeah.
Everybody in Oklahoma knows how those fronts work. It's always west to east. And when the two fronts mix, there's a lot of lightning many times, and so you got to clear the stands. And so you also had this second delay of for the second half. You said something before we started the show today that, well, you're going to be there all night to finish this game because the team needs the
work.
The work.
Absolutely.
So,
I'd made up my mind. I told the kids, we're playing this game. If we get back at 5 o'clock in the morning, we're going to play this football game because we need the snaps, we need the work, we need the opportunity for improvement. We'd actually talked about, before we even left, how we were going to handle a weather delay. I think that's one of the reasons the kids handled it so well at halftime was because they knew what to expect, what we were going to do, and how we were going to handle it. I think a weather delay at the start of the game is hard because you get pumped up, you're ready to go, you want to go play, and then all of a sudden you got to wait an hour and 15 minutes. That's a little bit tougher. You don't have adjustments to make yet because you haven't seen what they were going to do, and you've covered your game plan multiple times over the course of the week. And so I think the one at the beginning is more of a distraction than the one at halftime. We handled really well. I was very proud of the maturity of our kids and how they used it to improve.
Well, it speaks a lot to your leadership and coaches as well, just to raise the awareness to everybody there and say, we're going to play this game. There's no ifs, ands, okay, we're going to do this. And so at least the student athlete will have their mindset that, okay, coach says we're playing, so we're playing.
There was 2 parameters that I had set in my mind before we got there. Number one, we were going to play that game, and we were going to play it that night. We weren't going to drive there, come home, and then drive back on Saturday to finish. We were getting it done.
Yeah.
And so mentally, I think it's good for us to have that attitude.
The game is over. Another tough loss. Is there any different conversation taking place after the game compared to the other weeks?
I think there's a whole new level of seriousness now. Not that we weren't serious before, but this is a district game.
Yeah.
Everybody really is 0-0 now in the state. And, you look at our district standings in the non-district, we have several teams that struggled in non-district. I think the district race is wide open.
Sure.
You have Stillwater at 0-3, several teams at 1-2. Even Choctaw lost a game that they probably feel like they shouldn't have lost to Putnam City North, who's not traditionally a powerhouse in football. And so we have a great opportunity to make the playoffs, a great opportunity to continue to improve and really see our goals accomplished. The great thing about the last 3 games is they have no impact on our goals. Our goals was to get to the playoffs and to be a good enough team to win when we get there. And I think that everything's still on the table for us right now and that we can do it.
So it's kind of like a Monday morning. We get to start again, start anew.
That's exactly. Our sun came up again, brand new day.
Yeah. Well, before we get to our our segment, Inside the Game, we have a special assistant coach with us, guest again, compliments of Coach Hayes. I want to remind Coach that I've had a few emails since we started the Coaches Show or Plainsmen Football Show where people can find the television show. Now, we know you can find it on YouTube, and you could just type in Enid Plainsmen Football and on YouTube, and you would find this particular show, but you're able to find it on Channel 11. If you have Suddenlink cable here in the city of Enid, you can find it on Channel 11 and also on Channel 111. That's our high definition channel. So you can see all that we do, see how well the coach looks in high definition on Channel 111. Yeah, all the apologies are going your way. And you can go to enidtv.org, and on the homepage, there's a little TV guide on the left side of that homepage. And I had a mom the other day say, when is the Coaches Show? When's Plainsmen football? And I talked her through it, and you can find the TV guide, and it's on Enid TV, www.enidtv.org. Look on the homepage, left side, and just scroll through that TV guide, and you'll find out when Plainsmen football will air. That's on Channel 11 and 111. And Coach, you said it airs on another avenue. What was that?
If the viewers will go to the Enid Public Schools webpage and go to the athletic page, on the football page, all the show links are there as well. They can click on that and find it there as well.
Okay, very good. Well, we got more to do, Coach, and thank you for staying with us on Plainsmen Football 2015. We'll have our Inside the Game segment right after this. Welcome back to Plainsmen Football 2015. I'm Steve Keim with Coach Steve Hayes, and now we're at the Inside the Game segment, and our special guest is Assistant Coach Sean Mills. Sean, welcome to Plainsmen Football. Tell us a little bit. I know you have the Enid connection, and then you left big city of Enid and went other things, to do other things. Tell us a little bit about your upbringing in Enid and then your school and professional career, if you would, please.
All right. Well, we moved here in '91, a military family. So we moved here, and I went to high school here for all 3 years, and I graduated in '95, and then I went to junior college at Northeastern Oklahoma. Then I ended up going to Southern Miss after that. Then I had a short stay with the Atlanta Falcons after that, a free agent deal.
Now, did you play football at Northeastern? Is that Tahlequah?
No, that's junior college in Miami.
Oh, Miami. Okay. Now, did you play football there?
Yes, I played football.
Okay, so that opened the door for you to go to Southern Miss.
Yes.
Now, is that where what's the quarterback? What's his name?
Little Brett Favre.
Yeah, that little guy. I thought he was from Southern Miss as well.
Yes.
So you reset all his records while you were down there, I'm sure.
No, maybe not that. But I had a chance to meet him though.
Oh, well, good. And then the Falcons. Tell us about the pro experience.
Oh, it was a great experience, something I wouldn't trade in for anything. It was something I worked all my life to get to. But it was a shorter stay than I would have liked, but it was definitely an opportunity that I was glad I had a chance to take advantage of.
Okay. Coach Hayes, he's all yours.
Coach Mills, I think our safeties have improved tremendously over the last month. What areas do you think that they're playing well in right now?
Well, I think first of all is the communication and just the overall knowledge of what their responsibilities are. Mm-hmm. And I think they get more confident in what they're doing, and I think that is, key to being successful.
Mm-hmm. What will you guys focus on this week as we prepare for Choctaw from your position specifically?
Well, they're going to try to challenge us a little deeper down the field, so I think we need to stay deep and try to make them go shorter.
Mm-hmm. That's something that we've really improved at. We gave up some big plays early on, and we've kind of knocked those down. It's been good to see. Much better defending the deep pass, I think.
Yeah, so it's going to be key because teams are going to try to stretch the field on us.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so you've moved from the offensive side of the ball to the defensive side of the ball this year. What do you think is the biggest difference for you?
That was quite a change just because I guess it's how I look at the game. I look at it offensively. Like when I'm drawing up formations and plays, I have to turn it upside down just to get offensive perspective on it. But, I'm comfortable coaching it because that's what I've been paying attention to all my whole life is just coverages and defenses, so I'm comfortable with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good. That's good. And so you're doing something different this year personally, which I think is pretty exciting. Talk a little bit about the change for you professionally as far as outside of coaching now.
Well, I've decided to go back and get my degree. I was a little short on my last semester when I was at Southern Miss, so I take this opportunity to go back and finish up school. It's been a big incomplete in my life that I want to accomplish.
Yeah, I think that's great. So is it any different being a student athlete versus a student coach?
No, it's I don't know. I think it's a different mindset now. It doesn't seem as hard when you get your priorities and everything lined up in order.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Well, I appreciate you. You do a great job, and I'm glad you're here with us today.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah.
And before you leave, Coach Mills, do you feel like you've gone full circle now from a young man growing up and then playing ball, collegiate level and pro level, and now you're back into this mentoring, coaching role? Do you feel like you've kind of gone full circle in what you are supposed to be doing?
Yes, I definitely feel like I'm in a place in my life where I'm comfortable and doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It's real good to give back, and you get to coach kids like Squire Logan, who you'll see later, and those type of things just make you feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Well, thank you for joining us on Inside the Game, and we look forward to having you back later on the season.
I appreciate it. Thanks
Good
for
luck,
having me.
and wish you the best on Friday night. Coach Sean Mills, our special guest on Inside the Game, and we have a student athlete that will join us here in just a moment for Inside the Huddle, and we'll bring in the student athlete right after this.
Water break!
Thank you for staying with us on Plainsmen Football 2015 with Coach Steve Hayes. I'm Steve Keim, and we have a privilege of a young man joining us here for Inside the Huddle, Squire Logan. Squire, welcome. Appreciate you being here in our Enid Television Network studios. You're a senior. You're a wide receiver, so you're always saying, "Throw me the ball. Throw me the ball." Is that your statement?
No, I think it's throw us the ball. All the receivers give us a chance to be able to make plays.
Well, sometimes we lose sight that these are student athletes, and Squire, I appreciate you taking time because I know you've had to adjust your class schedule to be here today. The coach has always talked to me about the book Uncommon, and also the author of that book is Tony Dungy, and the emphasis on the character goal for this week. So, Squire, if you would, can you tell us about this particular week and the character goal that the Plainsmen football is undertaking?
Well, it's just like always standing up and doing the things that are right, you know. And we had one over a kicker, and it was like having short-term memory and like picturing things and visualization and stuff like that, and like thinking about it before the play happens and making the play happen, you know, and like forgetting what the negative things were and always thinking positive and then fulfilling that.
And I think you will see and realize more and more how close to real life that really is. Yeah. Sometimes we have to forget about what took place on a Sunday and get ready for Monday, and off we go. So overall, the character goals that you've all experienced for the last few weeks, what kind of impact has that had on you personally?
I think that if I do the things that are on there, I can help lead our team. And if they do the same things, we can all join together and lead each other. So it's not one person in the front, it's all of us in the front, hand by hand.
Very good, Coach.
Squire, talk a little bit about your playing career at Enid High School, what you've played and kind of your experience and what you bring to the table as a result of that.
I played a little bit my sophomore year. Our quarterback was Chance Pryor then. He was pretty good. And then last year, junior year, I was our leading receiver in catches and yards and touchdowns. And I played a little bit of defense, but I'm not really a defensive player till this year. I've done pretty good this year.
Yeah, you've done real well at safety this year and corner. Been a big benefit to our team. Squire, you're also a captain on our football team. You're one of 4 captains.
Yes,
what do you see your biggest role and responsibilities as a team captain?
Positive, and being positive. I think I like to energize our guys and keep them going. When everything's going bad, we just look forward and keep pushing on.
We've kind of seen this emerge somewhat at practice already as a reflection of your future goals, but what do you see yourself doing and studying in college and after college as you pursue this life you've been given?
I don't know what it would be, but I want to be a coach or something like that, or a teacher. So I'd be taking any classes like that to be able to make me be able to do that and be comfortable with doing that.
And he has that type of demeanor on the field as far as he does a good job of helping other players and helping them learn what they're supposed to be doing. And he's like having an extra GA out there on the field with us, which is great.
Sounds like you're an exhorter and an encourager.
Yeah.
You know, and we need those around us in our personal lives ever so much. You know?
We do. He does a good job of taking the young kids under his wing and helping develop them, especially from a receiver standpoint, learn how to run routes and know what to do on particular plays. And he does it without being encouraged to do it. It's kind of a natural fit, which I've enjoyed Squire being out there doing that. Squire, what are your goals for this football season, both individually and as a team?
I want to be our leading receiver again, like I was last year. And then defensively, I want to lead our team in like interceptions and stuff like that, and pass breakups. But as a whole, I want us to, like districts, I want us to try to be undefeated in districts, and then so we can host a home playoff game and then go to playoffs and win some games in the playoffs. That's what I want to go do.
I think you hear a lot of our teammates echo that, and that home playoff game is really right now the thing that is in the forefront of our minds, is to be able to bring a team here to Enid and host one in front of all of our fans. A big goal for us and an exciting week for us as we start to actually work towards that goal. What are your expectations for the Choctaw game? You've played in one of these games before.
Yeah, a lot of short passes that lead to a lot of yards, I think. I don't know. They have like a big slot receiver, but I think that we can contain him and contain their quarterback is a lot of what it is, because he likes to scramble, but then he will set back up and throw it deep.
Another tough game, right?
Yes, yeah.
Another tough game for us. Well, thank you for doing such a good job on the field and being such a great leader.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And Squire, thank you for joining us on Inside the Huddle. Appreciate your time, and
Yes,
wish
sir.
you well the rest of the season. We hope to see you back.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for joining us. We'll have some closing comments with Coach Hayes right after this. Again, thank you for staying with us on Plainsmen Football 2015. And we have the privilege each week, Coach and I, to talk about the previous game, but also what's coming up on Friday, and a little bit about, kind of inside the huddle and inside the game and all this inside stuff. And speaking of inside stuff, Coach, mental preparation. You know what you're going to do Monday all the way up to the next game on Friday night. Tell us a little bit about the mental preparation as well. Even if there was a win involved or a loss involved, there is mental preparation for your guys to get ready for Friday. Tell us about that.
Yeah, I think so much of success depends on taking advantage and controlling and working on the things that you have control over. There's things that you can't control, like the weather Friday night. We couldn't control that, but we could control how we reacted to it.
Yeah.
And we spent time preparing the kids mentally for that reaction to it. First district game, going to be a big home game. For a lot of our kids, be the first district varsity game they've ever played in, and they're going to have to, handle the pressure of that type of setting, because this one matters. This one counts, and so we'll have to spend some time this week kind of preparing them mentally. For that. I think that's one of the things we need to do a better job of, is I think one of the reasons we've started slow in the first quarter is as we've been pretty nervous. We really haven't hit our stride until second and third quarter, and it's hurt us. We need to be able to walk out on the field ready to play and feeling like we're ready to go. From a learning standpoint, so much of what we do has already been installed. It's just applying it to what they do defensively or what they do offensively. And so, today, this morning, and this afternoon is a big teaching day, preparing them to face what they're going to see, teaching them more what the opponent is and what they do and how what we do applies to that. And so they're learning a lot about Choctaw today and how that looks versus us. And man, right now, that's a much bigger part of it than the hitting and the physical part.
Sure. Well, you mentioned Choctaw, and they're coming off a loss to Putnam City North, 25-23. I don't know on the score if Putnam North led the whole game, or it looks, no matter what with the score, it was a close game.
Yeah.
What do you know about Choctaw?
Choctaw is a good physical football team. They're well coached. They do little things well. They've had success. They're bringing back a lot of experience again. Defensively, it's a much different look than what we've seen the last couple of weeks, in that they're really much more of a bend, don't break, keep everything in front of you type defense, where they'll rush 3 guys and drop 8 if you're throwing the football. Don't take a lot of risk with stunning guys. Should have more time to throw the football, but we'll have more defenders that we're throwing into when we do it, which is a real different approach than what we've seen the last 3 weeks. And so learning will be really important for our kids. Offensively, Squire kind of nailed it on the head. They have a big slot, have a very good running back who started 4 years now. A very athletic kid that we'll have to keep contained. Not somebody you can actually shut down completely, but just keep them from winning the game for them. And then their quarterback's good as well.
I was impressed with Squire's comments about how well he knew key players from Choctaw already. So, I mean, he's way ahead of the game in that regard.
You bet.
Coach, again, I'd like to talk about the fact that we can watch the Plainsmen Football Coaches Show on Channel 11 if you have Suddenlink Cable, and it's also on Channel 111. You can go to enidtv.org, that website, and you can find the listing when the show airs. Also, you can just go type in Enid Plainsman Football on YouTube, and it'll bring up the shows as well. And again, this is all in partnership with Dr. Floyd and Enid Public Schools. And Coach, there's another place where you can watch Plainsman Football, this show, play back over and over, and that's school's website, I think.
That's right. If you go to the Enid Public Schools webpage and click on athletics, and then click on the football page. You'll see some links there to a lot of different things: our team handbook, our schedules, team schedules, television shows, coaches' bios, and pretty soon players' pictures as well as some other neat things. So it's definitely worth a visit.
Well, Coach, I'm having a good time with the show. The outcomes is one thing, but I'm learning a lot about Plainsman football, but I'm also learning a lot about your student athletes, the impact that you're making on these young men, and then also the coaches that you have surrounding you and the support role they have. And I appreciate you bringing these guests each week.
Well, thank you.
And we'll continue to present those to the Enid community as well. So, Coach, have a good week. Let's go for that big win against Choctaw, and I look forward to that. And thank you for joining us and for watching Plainsman Football 2015. For the coach, I'm Steve Keim, and we'll see you at the game on Friday. Until then, make it a great day.
We'll see you next week with another insightful show with Enid Plainsman head football coach Steve Hayes.
Inside out. Give it to him. Good job, partner. Go. Hey. Touch. Come back. Here we go. Fire off. I'll drive it. He's gonna. There you go. There you go. Good job.
Thank you for watching Enid Plainsman Football 2015.